Hey everybody, just wanted to do a sort of a quick kind of update video on some stuff. I did record one the other day, but I don't know, I didn't cover everything and I think it was a bit sort of low energy, so I wanted to re-record it, make sure I covered everything I wanted to, just to update you guys on a couple things and some stuff that is also coming up, including my haircut, which I was actually supposed to get today, but I got delayed a week, so I hope my hair is actually okay for today. I know some of you actually don't care, but I'm a Leo and my hair is important to me. I know, very vain. One of the things I did want to cover though is just sort of the lack of videos that have been coming out, just because my life sort of got pretty busy in like so many different areas. I mean, between work and between personal stuff, like dealing with some family issues, as well as some work that needed to be done here. It's just, there were so many setbacks and like my free time really became less and less and less. And I know it may not always seem like it, but so, you know, the videos that I do, even the more simplistic ones, still do take a couple hours to do. Sometimes I have that time and sometimes I don't. Now, hopefully going forward, I think most of the stuff that needed to be done is taken care of, hopefully, so I can get back into the routine of getting videos out regularly, because there's a lot that I want to get to, including ones that I actually wanted to start doing back in January, because I was taking suggestions that some of you had made, which are fantastic suggestions, as well as stuff that I've been wanting to do for a long time, like videos dedicated to some of my favorite directors, why they're my favorite director, you know, some of my favorite films from theirs, as well as like some of my favorite scenes from films and like why they're my favorite, as well as just other aspects of movies and film history and things like that. Not to mention another Q&A, which I've been meaning to do for a long time. And probably the big thing is definitely I want to start doing a couple live streams here and there. And within that, once I feel a little bit more comfortable doing the live streams, you know, probably do like short ones initially. I then want to bring people on and actually do interviews with people talking about, like, you know, favorite movies, favorite horror films and things like that. And I definitely want to reach out to several different people, not just, you know, friends of mine or something. I actually want to like contact like other YouTubers that I really enjoy. I know a couple of you guys have expressed interest, and even people that I actually don't really know, but I figure, you know, like, well, it can't hurt. I'll just ask them, you know, maybe they'll pop on, maybe they won't. But that's something I've definitely been wanting to do for a long time. In fact, I kind of even came up with different names of what I would call it, and came up, like, there was one name, it was like The Back Row, The Midnight Show, and it was like, it was kind of going through all these different things. Back in the Green Room, which is kind of a throwback to like old talk shows, because if you ever watched like an old talk show, and there's always a moment where the guest was like, you know, so-and-so and I were talking about this back in the Green Room. And I always thought it was just like, God, I really want to hear the conversations that they had back in the Green Room. So I was like, well, what if I called an interview show that? But then I was like, I don't know, is that a little too esoteric? And then I kind of discovered I probably literally just call the live streams Vague Ramblings and just leave it at that, because I know it's sort of a subtitle to this channel, even though technically it is just my name, but that actually might work as the title for the live streams and the interviews. So I don't know, I'll get all that figured out. And of course, another video I absolutely want to do is a new movie room tour of this room. Once this room is finally complete, this has been probably one of the hardest things that I've been able to deal with, is just the fact that how long it's taken me to complete the rearranging of this room. Now, again, some of those setbacks, again, just literally just came down to time. I couldn't do certain things because, especially when there was work being done, I need to pull out a lot of stuff in this room and put it out in the hallway. And I can't do that if there's like work being done and outside, because as I mentioned before, two things. One, obviously I don't want anything to happen to anything that I have. And if it's in the way, you know, there's a chance that something could happen. But also, I don't like people knowing a lot of the stuff that I have. And maybe that's a little bit paranoid of me, you know, growing up in Chicago, where you're a little, you know, protective of things. But unless I know somebody well, you know, I don't like certain things kind of being on display and, you know, for them to see it. Because one, you know, you don't want people to kind of get a sense of like how much money maybe you spend on certain things. And also, I also don't always want like a conversation about stuff. It's, you know, sometimes you just want someone to come in, work on what they got to work and kind of move, you know, and I don't mean that in a mean way, but it's like, you know, sometimes I'm up for talking and sometimes I'm not. But I definitely want to get this room done as soon as possible. There's a couple more steps. I do have a shelving unit I do need to put together and put against the wall on this side, which I know you can't see at the moment, but just take my word for it. Because right now I have piles of movies just on the other side of the camera here. They're literally piles of movies that are supposed to go in that shelving unit. And then I need to get another shelving unit that'll also go against that wall. The one I have, and I already have it, I just have to put it together, is big. And it's going to be like the main one against that wall. And then the remaining space, there's going to be another shelving unit that'll fill up that space. Now, I already think I know which one to go there, but I don't want to go ahead and get it until I'm 100% sure. Because once the big big one is in place, then I'll take the final measurements and just make sure that, you know, what I'm coming up with is accurate, and then finalize this room. Obviously, back there will change. Unfortunately, I think Terminator might, in the short term, get packed up and just put in the storage unit until I figure out what's going on. Because some of the more horror statues are going to be behind me. And Freddy, which you can see over there, don't mind the mess, but Freddy over there is going to go on that wall where the other statues are now, as well as my Evil Dead statue, which I have had forever and a day, and I still need to set them up and have them in this. I can't wait to show that one off. But the problem is, it's like I need the space and I need the perfect table, which I do have, but I need to clear that table out because this Evil Dead statue, which is pretty massive, weighs like 90 pounds. So it's like, originally I had another table in mind, but I was like, no way that table that I had in mind is going to hold 90 pounds. Now, my original goal for the movie room tour, I think it was like October, November or something last year. Obviously that didn't happen. You know, now we're in April. I really am hoping within the course of the next like month or so, month and a half, I can finally get this room done and get that video recorded and uploaded. Because I mean, honestly, my last movie room tour, which I did, I think almost 2 years ago, is still my most watched video. And I still get comments on it to this day. You know, and I have to admit, even for, you know, my own sake, like I feel kind of embarrassed to kind of like tell people like, thank you for the comment. And it's like, there's a new one coming. I'm redoing the room and this, that, and the other. It's like, you know, you do kind of feel bad after a while, like, oh, it's keep telling everyone like it's coming, and then it, you know, months go by and it's like, oh man. But I definitely want to get this room done and get that video filmed and just, you know, it'd just be so nice to have this room done. And speaking of rooms, I'm also preparing another room. It's a spare bedroom that unfortunately right now is just being used as storage because I don't know where to put some of that stuff. Some of it is going to go into my actual storage unit, and then other stuff, I think honestly I need to go through and really start getting rid of stuff, just selling stuff that I know I'm just not going to do anything with. But one of the things I want to do with that room is actually, I'm still trying to come up with a proper name because I can't really think of one. I don't want to call it my nostalgia room because it's not quite accurate, because some of the stuff is, I mean, part of it's nostalgia and part of it's also like current stuff. But technically what it will be is one room, one wall. The bigger wall of the room is going to have some stuff, and then other two walls which are smaller because there's a window and a door. We'll have other stuff, and then the other wall, which is the smallest one, because there's a closet door there, and then obviously the door opening of the main door of the room. So the small area is actually where I think majority of my music's going to go. I'm going to have a shelving unit. It's going to have a lot of my CDs and the record albums that I have, as well as some other music odds and ends. The two walls, I think, are, because I'm going to need the space, is going to be sort of my video game / arcade like display. So like my arcade 1-ups that I have, you know, I don't have that many, but I do have a couple, and we'll take up pretty much, I think, one of those full walls will be set up there to become like a little bit of a mini arcade setup. And then there will be a display where I'll have a bunch of other like video game stuff. I think actually even some of my current video games, I'll keep them in there just to kind of keep them a little bit out of the way, because right now I have a shelving unit in my bedroom that I don't need in there, that I do keep a lot of my games on. So that'd be like the video game wall. And then the main wall, which is the largest one in the room, is actually where the majority of my Star Wars collection is going to go. This is something I've been wanting to do for a long time, and I didn't really know what to do, but then I sort of got inspired like several months ago by finding like other YouTubers who are into Star Wars and collect Star Wars. And I have a bunch of stuff from when I was a kid, and there's stuff that I, you know, do buy on occasion. And I was trying to come up with a cool way to display it, and I came up with like two ideas. One is, I remember years ago I went to one of these Star Wars exhibits when I lived in Chicago. They had a Star Wars exhibit at one of the museums, and I remember going to see all of the original models that they used for the films and just seeing them on display. And it's like, I kind of want to mimic that with some of the vehicles that I have. You know, some of the majority of my stuff is like the 3¾ inch line from my childhood, and again more recently. So a lot of the ships and stuff, I kind of want to display them almost as if they were part of that exhibit. And then the other stuff I actually want to do almost like mini dioramas or something along those lines. One channel that I absolutely love is a channel called Only One Kenobi. It's ONLY. Only One Kenobi. Love his channel. I cannot recommend his channel enough, especially if you're into Star Wars and the 3 3/4 inch figures and stuff. He has an amazing collection. I absolutely love the way he displays his figures. He does change them around on occasion, but what I love is that he sets them up in a way that is almost like part of it is like a diorama, or he'll have a theme or something. I also love his energy. He obviously is somebody who loves Star Wars like I do, and I like his excitement for stuff. Because as some of you know, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Obviously, you know, movies are my main thing, and underneath that, it's like Star Wars and horror films are like my two things. And I really want to kind of add a little bit more Star Wars into a couple videos. But don't worry, for those of you who have no interest in Star Wars and just want like the horror movie stuff, like that's not going anywhere. That's still kind of pretty much like the main thing of the channel. But I know for me, like one of the things I definitely want to do as well is just kind of same thing, where I want to set up certain scenes and stuff that sort of, you know, represent like some of the different films. And there were some figures I didn't even know existed. I mean, that's the thing. It was a fun thing about watching like his videos, is like because he collects just all different kinds of figures, not just like newer ones or old vintage ones, but like from different lines to put together these scenes. And there were figures I never even knew, like some from even like 10-15 years ago. And one of the scenes, just to use an example, that I do want to recreate the selling of the droids with the Jawas, when Luke and his uncle go and buy 3PO and R2. And I'll give you a prime example of figures that I actually got recently. And these are older figures from, again, like 10 to 15 years ago. So here's like a Jawa figure, which comes with the little round droid. For those who know the movie, it's the scene where it's the little Jawa sort of like pushing the little round thing, you know, it's like beep, 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 kind of, that's not the sound it makes, but you know what I mean. And then there was this other one here, which again, also comes with a Jawa, which is good. I could use a couple extra Jawas. But then this robot here, which sort of had like all these weird arm kind of things. I call it the spider robot, but they call it the Wed Treadmill droid. Once I get more in this Star Wars stuff, like I'll do much more specific videos and some of this for those of you that are interested. And of course, this droid, which again, another one I didn't even know there was a figure for, which, I mean, doesn't even do anything. Like, it literally just stands there, you know, in the shot, but they made a figure of it, and it's like, perfect. I need that. And a few other things like I already had, so I could sort of fill it out. But that's just a prime example of things that I definitely want to do in that room, especially in that display. And for those of you who aren't interested, I mean, those will be videos on their own, so I can sort of separate them. So I don't want you guys to kind of feel like, well, that's not what I want to watch. It's like, okay, that's fine. But for those of you who do, I know some of you have mentioned it before, they'll be separated so you guys can kind of pick and choose what you want to watch. And once again, do want to just give a shout out to Only One Kenobi. I will link his channel in the description below. So hopefully things are a little bit opening up for me now, because I really want to get back into the habit of doing videos regularly. I definitely want to get into the videos that I've been meaning to do now for several months, because they're ones I know it'd just be a lot of fun to do, and I have a feeling hopefully a lot of you will enjoy them as well. You know, create something we can all talk about. And then one final thing, just to mention real quick, I think some of you may be able to sympathize a little bit. So the other day I was exercising, and I was trying to do had to do with more like my back and everything. And I got a little over anxious. You know, when you start doing new exercises, you really got to ease into them. And I went like full force into it. And yeah, I kind of hurt my back. Back is like really, really sore. And I think I definitely overdid it. So the last like 2 days have been a little bit on the painful side. Even right now, it's like, it's getting better, but it's slow. Some of you who've hurt muscles in your back, it's just like you kind of forget how much it sucks until you actually hurt your back again, and just how much like that is such a stabbing pain too. You know, there's little things like I just need to bend over and put the cat food you know, down in front of the cat so she can eat, and it's just like, ow. So I'm hoping just a couple more days and my back pain will be gone, because that would be good, because it's another reason why it's like I can finally get back to maybe building the shelves for this room. Can't do it with a hurt back. So anyway, kind of a weird thing to end the video on, but you know, whatever. So definitely let me know if you have any thoughts about anything I sort of threw at you in this video. Kind of went all over the place. And as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.